With me now is Bradley Lafortune, Executive Director of the advocacy group Public Interest Alberta. Good morning. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. Your organization wrote an open letter to the Mayor of Edmonton demanding an emergency meeting. What are you calling for?
We're calling for an immediate moratorium on the encampment sweeps in Edmonton. We've seen hundreds of our neighbors have their treaty rights and their human rights violated as a result of this policy. So we're very hopeful that today's meeting will result in that declaration of a moratorium, and that it will serve as a rallying cry from the City of Edmonton to get the province of Alberta and the federal government together to support Mayor Sohi and Council to find better policies that will ensure that people's lives are not being lost on our streets.
What's the solution here? What's the solve to help deal with this crisis?
Well, there's a lot of problems with the current policy for sure. Number one, right now, today in Edmonton, it's -40. And so clearing encampments is not the solution. Our shelter system is also very oversubscribed. People are waiting outside of our shelters for upwards of 12 and 15 hours and have nowhere else to go. In terms of long-term solutions, what we need to see is this provincial government invest massively in our shelter system with proper standards, minimum shelter standards, and permanent supportive housing and emergency housing as well. And one thing that I would add is that what's really missing right now is the spirit of collaboration from all levels of government, and that we need to see a lot of leadership to recognize that the solutions do exist. We can invest in public housing. We can invest in shelters that work. We can invest in emergency solutions right now to save lives. I would also like to add that, when it comes to the so-called problem that we're facing right now, there are solutions that are happening right on our streets. There are encampments where harm reduction and peer support is happening that is Indigenous-led and that is in the spirit of treaty and reconciliation. And that's not being recognized right now as a major problem. Many residents in Edmonton have signed this letter, over 4,000 now as of today. And what we're trying to do is make sure that City Council feels the support that they have from Edmontonians who really don't want to see this happening anymore.
Brad, we're going to follow the developments from this meeting. We do appreciate you taking the time to speak with us. Brad Lafortune is the Executive Director, Public Interest Alberta.